herd of cows to feed the people in the penitentiary. And it's okay, okay. Now, that's why our job is so important. We've anticipated most of the things that might happen, and we're formalizing remedies for that. One of the last things I have here, Oakland's a crazy house. Leadership, okay, loud, light clowning. Yeah, I mean, like if it's a gift from Allah, if you like to have fun with people, just clown them. You don't have to kill them, you know. My son was saying, in fact, both of them was saying, Dad, this be going on, that be going on. And I said, suppose you kill a Negro. That's what niggas need. I said, yeah. Well, if you kill a Negro, you killing him just cause he's a Negro. You ain't gonna stop the Negroes from doing what they do. Like one time, I don't know if you remember when my oldest son was out here, we was over on A Street. They stayed in the book room, him and one of his friends. In the game they in, well, yeah, such thing happened, I'm gonna take care. I said, tell you what, come on out here and I'll give you the game on that. So he thought since I'm an expert on that type of thing, that I'm gonna have him out here and I'm gonna say, this is what you do. So I got him out and I kept him and we drove iron every day. Hey man, he ain't never been that. This guy was swole up. He make Sergio Oliva. He was almost looking, he was buff. He was close to 20s. He had 19 and a half. That's serious. And was shaped. We went out every morning and lift iron. And like, I think I was about 55 at that time. So I was getting a little older. Your strongest years on weights is 35, between 35 and 40, technically 37 years old. That's why if you see an old weightlifter in the mid-30s, that's their strongest years. Not in boxing and running and stuff, but in weights. So I was 55 by that time. So whenever we lifted iron together, he started when he was young. So I don't know if you remember that little house that was next door. We had all that iron in there. Look at here. We'd stack them quarters on there. So boom. Like on mine, I think I got up to 7 quarters on each end. That's plenty of iron. 'Cause 6 quarters is 300, not including the bar. So 7 quarters. Okay. So no, that's where he went. I was going on up and I'd get 6 quarters and some change rolling. So he popped 7 quarters on there and was doing reps. So this is when he caught me, because at that time he was at just the age where he was at his strongest. And at my age, I'm going into a decline. So I just reminded him that he learned all that from me, and don't be getting out of line because you lift a little more iron than I do. Wasn't no big deal. I mean, it didn't bother me none. But the point is, I just kept him here with me. Why? How is that guy out there behaving? Man, he done got in with so-and-so. I said, well, you get at the end of the line. Somebody going to finish him off soon because of what he's doing. It's in Oakland. It's like if he did the same thing in D.C., you're going to mess with everybody. They're going to get rid of you. So somebody called him and said, yeah, man, they just down so-and-so. I said, nah, go on back. So what I did, I called him out here. So to keep him out here, because he had hinted how the guy was acting, I said, he ain't going to be that. Do not go get yourself a life without possibility of parole sentence. Just let somebody else do it. They got to. I mean, he's in a game where he's doing certain things as he ain't nothing. He got to go. You know what I mean? It's just when. It could be in 2 weeks, could be in 2 days, it could be in 2, 3 months, but he got to go. That's the rule. Anyway, let me. So Oakland's a crazy house. Oakland's a crazy house, and it's been a crazy house. The craziest thing they did was think that the stuff that they were doing out there was going to affect us. Like I had a little water bottle that had tar around it. Did I ever, that was like a drain up there. One of our buildings, you stick the thing in there, and then all the water, it ruins the building. So I was collecting all that stuff, and then I brought it here. Also, I had a spark plug. A spark plug goes down and across. This spark plug, I mean, it was bent straight. Anyway, and we got it out of my car. But before I was going on a trip, I said the car running kind of funny. So the guy that I said it to was a friend of the guy that put it in there, but he didn't know he had put it in there for it to run rough. So he unscrewing them all. And I know he put it there because I said, hey, how did this one get like that? I don't know. Okay, fine. And the guy was his best friend, the mechanic. Anyway, stuff like that happened all the time. I'll move toward a close. This is just from a note. This don't mean. So, about the people in Oakland, it says Allah made you. Allah made them. And about some of the people, it says made you stupid, ugly, and ignorant. Now you know who that's talking about. That's talking about a lady, but they talk about me all the time. I just got something the other day. It said something stupid. Excuse me 1 second. The dumbest thing I ever heard. There's old C.L. Franklin there. Black Power. A retired snitch begging for money. Allahu Akbar. They done stole all the money we got. I mean, hundreds of thousands. And they still in Oakland doing the same thing. And they done sold $1 million building. They ain't gone nowhere. That mean that boss man them niggas ain't got 2 cents. Boss man got them on the line. Because if you knock somebody over for a big hit like that, you're going to be gone back to Arkansas or wherever your folks is from, right? He's staying right there in Oakland. So what did this thing said? Yeah, something about a snitch. A retired snitch, that's me, begging for money. We're going to raise tons of money. You know, the only thing about some of the people, they never raised any money. Never. My son used to say, yeah, I said, did so-and-so go out and raise it? He said, no, he said, it's a tire this week. Tire, he ain't never went out to raise no money. It's whatever right? So I put $35,000, $40,000, $50,000 in an account And he spent it all, you know. He never raised no money. He never did. And he's calling me a thief and a snitch. That's really something. And I don't mind. That means I have to be able to take it too. I have to be able to, when you know what the game is, you have to be able to do that with comfort and ease. Okay. Handsome and rich in a world of poverty. So this means, so I use what Allah gave me. So I'm just making fun of him. I'll say I'm handsome and rich. And imagine to be able to say that when you're poor, when they done taken, they be knocking you over. They don't know how close you are to the bottom line, and it ain't none of their business. I know one thing. Just a vision what we're doing now. We're preparing now for the Eid. That's what we're preparing for. That's why there's no hurry. So if we don't have a certain amount of people, we will get a certain amount of people because we're going to be traveling around, hanging out at all the Masjid. You know, probably about, starting tomorrow, probably about 3 nights a week. You know, until then, even if it's 2, it's fine. And if you notice, our flyers are evolutionary. So we're going to make our flyers fit into where we're trying to go. Inshallah, they'll be good. They'll be just like the other old ones. They evolve. They get better as they go. So we will explain to people who we are, what we want to do. It'll be different than some of them. Post-traumatic growth. That's pretty serious. Okay. Anyway, I just saw an old note here. This is from 1983, September the 2nd. Run 10 miles. That's in the hills. I mean, with heavy weights and sweat gear on. You're talking about shape. You know, now all you got to do is think about that and it puts you in some shape. Just thinking about it. I mean, you can walk around the block. That'll be enough after a while. Okay. The point is, we just thank Allah. Allah done blessed. Hey, man, I can't express it enough. You try to do right. Now imagine, I'm just talking about personally now. Everything that people talk about, Allah let you do it. Imagine. When the Negroes wanted to be rich, okay, you get richer than everybody. In fact, the people that you bring along with you, and it's like advertisement, really, right? So if all people talk about is Cadillacs in those days, right? When they go down the street, it's like advertisement. So if you buy your main friends Cadillacs, big Brohams, not them little old Coupe de Villes things, with Vogue tires, not them little old Michelins and stuff. Although Michelin's a better tire, but it don't look as good as the Vogues. You know, a Negro cares nothing about how good something is. You know, Vogue tires, if you didn't have them, you would be out of style. It's been no good the last 10 miles. I mean, the last 40,000 miles, man. You nigga wouldn't use them. Because they had a little thin stripe on it, not that big, pretty white stripe with the little orange. You know, just being colored is a burden in some kind of way, but it's a blessing in others. Once you get to, but you got to get, look, once you go through the ringer, the white man's ringer and life in general, and you come out all right, hey man, the best thing is just to be a believer so you know who to thank. Yeah, if you come through it and you don't know who to thank, you may be thanking yourself, boy, I'm a job nigga, I'm smart, boy, look at him. I beat up there, I beat this, I beat that, and you fall off a bridge somewhere, and you'll never know that Allah brought you through that. So what's good about it is you know who to thank for going through all that. And then I want you to also remember 45 years of this stuff here, every day, all the time. Never no let up and never no rest. One stage after another. Your cars won't run.